C'est bon pour toi?
One of the most beautiful cities of Europe. It is time that we in 21st century show that we are a mature citizens of this planet, that we want long-term well-being for ourselves and future generations. This is the opportunity. Save Soil is that moment.
A myslím si, že i tomu je nakloněno.
And I'm convinced that both our Minister of Agriculture as well as the entire ministry fully supports that trend or that direction.
He is offering me much more than I came to ask him for.
It's our common issue together. It's not for one nation, for one person, but we as people have to unite and to solve this.
Here we are in this wonderful city of Vienna. Soil is a common denominator to bring all of us together. Make sure the world gets it now. La 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 is your mantra for now, for these 93 days. And above all, don't pick a fight with anybody, it doesn't matter what they're doing, because we need every one of them. Namaskar. Yes, I know war is an important thing, but it's such an important thing that we can do without in our lives. At least from here on, cutting-edge technology should not go into military weaponry. This you must pitch for.
So, how do you feel here in Ljubljana in Slovenia?
Feeling like it's home.
Rešimo prst!
All of us have been part of this destruction. The only way is all of us become part of the solution also. So let's make it happen. Riding on to Italy. Italy is raining heavily tonight. Here in Venice, what a city! I am a huge admirer of Rome because whoever did it, their sense of geometry is so fantastic. The former president of European Parliament, he is 100% with us, and FAO is our partners now.
And we are very happy that we are aligned in our message to hide the profile of soils, and we believe that is very much needed.
This great city, which is known as the Eternal City, we must understand over 2000 years ago, this Eternal City made the mistake of overfarming the region, and the erosions that caused did tremendous damage, and that was also the fall of the city at that time. So, the Romans of today should never make that mistake once again. Here we are in Geneva.
I think it's a message of urgency, but it's also a message of hope. So I would really like to thank Sadhguru for his leadership.
The global movement led by him addresses the soil crisis by mobilizing people around the entire world.
This massive fountain in the Lake of Geneva is lit up for Save Soil today. With Save Soil colors of blue and green, you cannot stop this. The moment is on. It's going to be on till the policies are done. See, when people want it, it definitely will happen. There's no question about it. Tell me, will it happen?
Quand même, hein. 30 000 kilomètres le périple, 30 000 kilomètres à moto seul pour changer le monde. Et je pense que sans joie, c'est pas possible. En réalité, la conclusion, c'est que dès qu'on a un truc important à faire, un truc un peu grave, quand on y met de la joie, forcément, ça donne des ailes, et ça donne des ailes aussi aux autres. Je vous parlais tout à l'heure d'un invité, un joueur de foot qui en a foulé des sols, donc, et j'ai le plaisir d'accueillir Louis Sarr. Et je l'invite à monter sur scène pour me rejoindre. On peut l'applaudir très fort. Bienvenue Louis. Merci d'être là. Je vous laisse le micro. La parole est à vous.
Bonjour à tous, c'est vraiment un honneur de pouvoir participer à cet événement. Je suis venu visiter au départ ma sœur et j'ai eu la chance d'avoir un message me rappelant que Sadhguru venait nous voir à Paris et c'était très important pour moi de tout de suite annoncer ma présence parce que c'est quelque chose d'extraordinaire ce qu'il vient de faire. Vous avez vu les images, moi je suis bouche bée, on a tous une influence, on a tous un pouvoir. Et lui est vraiment capable de fédérer. Donc, je vois là, cette salle, elle est remplie et je suis émerveillé parce qu'il y a une vraie énergie. J'ai eu l'occasion d'aller à Rome comme Sadhguru et d'avoir la chance d'aller au Vatican et de voir le pape. Et j'avais eu cette émotion, n'étant pas forcément religieux, mais j'avais eu cette émotion parce que j'avais eu cette réunion de personnes avec des vraies valeurs, avec cette envie de changer leur quotidien avec des visions plus positives. Et il y avait cette énergie qui se dégageait de cette personne, ce pape. Moi qui ne suis pas forcément à bloc sur la religion, j'étais vraiment envahi d'une énergie. Et c'est ce que Sadhguru m'apporte quand je le vois faire ce voyage. Mais j'ai eu l'occasion aussi, c'était en 2009, je crois, 2008, il était venu à Everton, là où je jouais à l'époque, où j'ai eu quand même un passage assez sympa en première ligue. Et il avait pris le temps de discuter avec nous et de nous envahir de cette énergie, de cette compassion, de cette bienveillance, de réaliser justement qu'il y avait plus que ce qu'on faisait ou ce qu'on accomplissait quotidiennement. Donc faire en sorte que on puisse vivre notre passion. Et j'avais compris que justement j'avais ce devoir de pouvoir accorder du temps, accorder de la force et de l'authenticité au message que je pouvais transmettre autour de moi. Sadhguru, encore, quand on parle d'être authentique, c'est la force qu'il a, c'est de parler de bienveillance, de son yoga qu'il maîtrise très très bien, de toutes ces aspects de la vie, donc comme un coach de vie qui est capable de vraiment nous aider à réaliser des choses importantes, mais au départ qui démarrent avec des actions simples. Et je me dis, mais ce pouvoir de pouvoir générer tout ça en restant humain. Donc moi, quand je vois Sadhguru, c'est quelqu'un qui est très très simple, qui est capable de prendre une moto aujourd'hui et de faire un voyage et de nous connecter à des choses simples et de se dire que voilà, aujourd'hui le sol est très très important et qu'on doit avoir ce message très fédérateur, mais dans l'urgence, être capable de pouvoir réaliser qu'on est tous ensemble dans un même combat. Donc aujourd'hui, de voir cette salle remplie avec des gens qui ont des t-shirts verts et compris le message de Sadhguru, c'est assez spécial et unique pour moi. Donc je vous remercie déjà d'être là, donc ça c'est assez énorme. Et je vous demande de vraiment continuer le combat, d'essayer de faire ce que Sadhguru dit, d'essayer d'influencer chacun autour de vous, de façon à ce que nos enfants, j'en ai 3, puissent justement éviter les catastrophes que très bien que Sadhguru a très bien expliqué. Donc je pense que c'est très très important, nous, influenceurs, qui ont une plateforme, les réseaux sociaux, de pouvoir vraiment adresser un message, même, je dirais, puissant, mais dans l'urgence, et de ne pas avoir peur. Pas avoir peur de, voilà, je pense, d'aller au combat et d'être un peu marginalisé, parce que c'est pas forcément dans l'urgence, on dit oui c'est dans 30-40 ans, non, c'est maintenant qu'il faut commencer à faire des actions concrètes. Donc je vous remercie d'être là.
Merci d'avoir été là et embrassez votre sœur. La joie, la puissance, la capacité de pouvoir justement prendre le pouvoir sur le monde dans lequel nous habitons, pas attendre que ce soit nécessairement les autres qui fassent, mais faire nous-mêmes les choses. Voilà quelques enseignements de ce début d'après-midi, enfin, de cette fin d'après-midi qu'on passe ensemble. J'invite maintenant son Excellence, Monsieur Jawad Ashraf, ambassadeur de l'Inde en France, à venir sur scène pour nous partager ses perspectives. Bienvenue à vous, Monsieur l'ambassadeur. Welcome to you. Ok. Monsieur l'ambassadeur va parler en anglais, donc branchez vos traducteurs.
Well, bonjour, namaskaram, hello, vanakkam. All of you here are already, as Sadhguru said, making it happen. It is your time now to change the world. He is here with a message, and you are the instrument. So let us once again show our commitment by giving Sadhguru a loud round of applause. Yes, he hears it, and the world will hear your voice when we speak in one voice and when we move with one spirit, with the joint hands of billions and billions of people. Every day we get up and walk on terra firma, the earth. But that's the one thing we take most for granted. But everyone here in Paris, everyone in France, everyone in the world wants fresh fruit, fresh vegetable, the cleanest, the greenest bread, the cleanest and the purest water. But that's not the only problem we will face. 33% of our land, 1/3, is facing problems. It's already degraded. In 60 years from now, the topsoil, which nourishes our life, which nourishes the planet, will be gone. But this is a responsibility that we, the present, who are in this world, bear towards our children and our grandchildren and the generations to come. Today we have to make that choice. Are we going to take the actions that we need to make sure that we leave the world more hopeful, more capable of sustaining life? Yes, all governments recognize the problem. We have the UN Soil Health Day, which is the December 5. We have 3 United Nations conventions that speak of soil. In 2015, the year we had COP21 in Paris, we declared it as the year of soil. Every government, the government of France, government of India, all of us take actions, make laws, make policies about soil to save our soil. But how many of us have heard it? Yes, I work in the government, I'm a diplomat, it's my job. But how many of us have heard of those laws, have heard of those conventions? Yes, we today talk about the carbon emission in the air. We don't speak about carbon in the soil. It is our job to make sure that there is more carbon going in the earth and less carbon going in the air. And the more carbon we put in the earth, the less carbon we will put in the air. And so when we speak of climate change, which we do every day, let us begin with basics. Basics are related to soil and the life it contains and the life it nurtures. And all this will happen only, not because of the laws we make, not because of the conventions we write, not because of the programs we put in place. The science is known. There's reams and reams of research. But where is the message? And it is this message, this idea of creating a mass movement that you saw on the screens today across the cities of Europe, joined by enthusiastic crowds, young children, adults, old people dancing with hope, with a purpose, with a cause to save the soil. And this is the stream in the start of the mountain, which will become a giant river of human awareness, social consciousness, social mobilization. And it is this mission that Sadhguru has launched on March 21 from London. And it is this message he will take to COP15 in Côte d'Ivoire and take it all the way across Asia and to Coimbatore in India. And today, we're privileged to have him here with us. And make no mistake, this is not his new fancy or some new idea that he's come up with. Those of you who are volunteers know that. But let me say this for those who do not. Of course, he's known to all his 11 million volunteers in 300 centers across the world as a spiritual guide, a leader, a person who has transformed their lives. But he is also the world's most committed mass mobilizer on ecology, on nature. And why is that so? Because he combines spirituality with science, with social consciousness and social mobilization. And why is that so? Because he speaks about inner engineering, which all of you have heard of, to make you better people. But you cannot do that inner engineering without also doing something about re-engineering the nature of which you are a part. That harmony between your inner self and the nature that sustains you. So this is an extension of a mission which he has launched. And I must say there are 3 extraordinary missions which I never fail to mention, because they are the greatest examples of what mobilization can do for nature. One, of course, is Project Green Hands. This is a project which he launched in 2004 to bring young children, farmers, adults into a collective movement for afforestation to increase the green cover. 38 million saplings were planted, 70,000 farmers were enabled or facilitated. On one day, 850,000 saplings were planted, which is a Guinness Book of World Record, of course. In 2017, he launched the Rally for River movement in India, which has drawn in 162 million people. 162 million people in what the United Nations Environment Program has described as the world's largest ecological movement. I'm sure this one is going to overtake that very soon, because it will be several billion people joining in this venture. And then, of course, we have the Kaveri calling. Now, those of you who've been to India know the Kaveri River, which is drying up. And it has caused all kinds of social problems also, because water, like soil, is the basis of life. And so Kaveri calling is another move to plant trees to rejuvenate the river, and 2.42 billion trees are to be planted by 5 million farmers in Kaveri. But today, he's launched a mission that is going to make all of this look very, very modest. Because today, we are all part of a great mission that will unite the world across our identities, across our boundaries, across our cultures, languages, religions, genders, in one common purpose, in one common hope, in one common aspiration. An aspiration that's the noblest of all. An aspiration and a hope to leave this world better than what we inherited it. To create that movement, that consciousness, so that everyone in the world who makes decisions will hear you. And so that in every day of your life, in every little way, you will also make that one small giant step, which will be really a giant step towards conserving and saving the soil. It will be very simple steps, but they will make a huge, huge difference. And that is what this movement is about. That is why Sadhguru is on this extraordinary journey. This leg of that journey will take him, as you've just heard, through 30,000 kilometers on a motorcycle, through 30 cities, in 23 countries, but touching the lives along the way of hundreds and hundreds of millions of people, who all of us now today, as we leave this room, as we leave this hall, and after we have heard him, we will do what he has been saying. Let's make it happen. And to speak to you today, to raise our consciousness, and to call you to action, it is my honor and privilege to invite on stage Sadhguru.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. This is a soil man. What are you? This is a soil man. Should I go on a picnic? Thank you. Give it to them. I'll take it later, okay? Okay, that's fine. First 1 minute I will speak in French and after that I will speak in English.
Kalo na janati tava jananam. Kalo na janati tava samapanam. Dhrushto maya tava mahakara yogeshvara Kala Kala Yogeshvara Kala Kala. Namaskaram. In this city, when somebody speaks, if I don't understand, I think it's French. So, because you didn't understand, it must be French. So, what was I speaking in my French? Is this, that life is just a little bit of time. If you're very joyful, it's very little. If you're miserable, it's pretty long. Hello? Only miserable people can live a long life because it feels that way. Have you noticed on a particular day, you're very happy, poof, one day goes off like that. You're a little… then one day feels like a year or a eon, depending on the depth of your misery. For a miserable person, one day is too much. If you're really blissed out, 100 years is too little. So, life plays between the time that we have and the energy that we manifest. The energy that we manifests itself in various levels. Where are you more invested will determine how your life feels. Then the 7 disciples of Adiyogi asked Adiyogi, what is this complex creation made of? Where is it all coming from? How does it happen? What is the mechanics of this? Wherever you look, a new kind of life. Right here, in your little garden, if you look close enough, there are so many creatures that you've never seen. So many creatures that you never thought existed. If you use a microscope, you will discover trillions of them. So when they asked this question, by then Adiyogi was bored with their questions. And I said, just like, just five things. The entire creation is the mischief of 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire and akash. In English language there's no appropriate word, we'll either call it ether or call it space. But that's not the appropriate description, it's akash. So this earth, water, air, fire and akash, they manifest within ourselves also in a certain way. Because now, I'm on safe soil moment, okay. I can't be talking too much spirit soil. This is only for the front rows, you got it too. People keep asking me, Sadhguru, what is the secret? Hey, if I tell you everything, how is it a secret? So, if we take a handful of really rich soil and put it on your plate, you will eat. It has all the nutrients. Can you eat it? Hello? Hello? No. If you think I'm so stupid? Huh? He's asking me, did you try? Do I look that stupid to you? If you allow this soil to go through a certain process, it becomes a nice vegetable or a sweet fruit or a cereal or a bread or something, it becomes food. It's the same soil, but became food and then arrived on your plate. Now instead of eating it, ingesting it and digesting it and assimilating it, we'll open up the body and stuff the bread inside. I think the French baguette. You think my arm is a French baguette? No. You put it inside, here. You think it's going to work? No, it must go here and it must go through an entire complex process for the food that you have eaten to become this flesh and bone and blood. Hello? Still the same soil. Hello? Still the same soil became food because it went through a process. And then this same soil went through a process and became flesh and bone. Now this same soil, if you put it through another process, it will become the spirit. So the question in life is only this, are you a feeble spirit or are you a glowing spirit? This depends on how well nourished you are. I'm not talking about protein, vitamin, that kind of stuff. I'm talking about as you put the soil through a process and made it food, as you put the food through a process and made it flesh, as you put the flesh through a certain process, it will become the spirit. I'm using the word spirit in its essence as life is, not in scriptural terms, not in religious terms, not about you going to heaven. Hello, those. Are you feeling like you're in heaven? No, don't. That's not a good place to go. We've always made this serious mistake, which is also one of the causes for us to degrade the soil, to destroy the planet. That is, don't waste your time, it'll be on the YouTube, huh? Be with me. Don't do that, be with me, it's going on the YouTube immediately. Going with good cameras, not your phone. This is what I'm telling you. So, I'm not talking in terms of spirit means going up. Tell me, where should the spirit be, here or there? No, it is supposed to be up there. It's a round planet. What do the French think? It's a round planet. And it's spinning. If you look up, you're inevitably looking up in the wrong direction. Hello? If you were in Australia, how would you look up? Hello? I'm asking you. They're not responding to me because I don't look French. Hey, give me that French cap. Throw it here. So, this is
French yogi.
He's making all the mistakes today. He's calling me a French yogi. This is what you need to understand. The word yoga means union, the word yogi means one who has obliterated his boundaries consciously. So this is not an Indian yogi or a French yogi. This is just a yogi. That's what I am attempting with everybody. If everybody becomes a yogi, the world will be free of problems, because all our problems are because of the boundaries that we have drawn around ourselves. No, they may arrest me with this cap, it's okay. So, when we say spirit, we are thinking of something up there. No, a soil becomes a sprout, sprout becomes a plant. Well, people will say it's a seed, but seed is also soil. And then it becomes a flower. You can't believe the stinking manure made this fragrant flower. Huh? But is it true? It is the more stinky the manure is, the more fragrant the flower is. Hello? So, it is this soil which becomes food, it is this food which becomes body, it is this body which becomes spirit. This is the evolutionary process. Not that the animal doesn't have it, but it's feeble. Not that every human being doesn't have it, but in some it may be feeble because they did not do the necessary process. If you eat the food, if you're not able to digest it and assimilate it, you would still be weak and malnourished, isn't it? This is the same way. You have a body that has come from the basis of this soil, but the next process, if you do not do, you will not have a strong spirit. Strong spirit means not you have a strong temper. Spirit means… See, body means like this, this is my body, that's your body. These two are two separate things. This is my mind, that's your mind. These two are two separate things. Here and there our minds may overlap, but still, that is your mind, this is my mind. Our bodies are very separate. Suppose I get buried in the French soil, and when you get buried after many years, 100 years later, okay? When you get buried, suppose they buried you right next to me, then you understand this body and that body are the same stuff. Hello? But for now, let's not go that far. But for now, your body is your body, my body is my body, my mind is my mind, your mind is your mind. But there is no such thing as your life and my life, your spirit and my spirit, there is no such thing. This is like… this is a living cosmos. You have captured some, I have captured some. How much will determine the profoundness of your life? It's like if two children are blowing soap bubbles. I'm being shot. Posing for the camera. Okay. So, because I'm in France, you know, Is it correct? So, this two children are blowing soap bubbles, and this is my bubble, that's your bubble, no, this is my bubble, that's your bubble. Poof, it went. Then, oh, this is my air, that is your air. There's no such thing. So just now, your life is just like this. This is my bubble, that's your bubble. You captured some life, I captured some life. Now there are ways that you don't just gather a body or a body of information that you call as mind, but you capture more life. This is yoga, this is the spiritual process where you gathered much more life. Because you gathered much more life, your experience of life becomes very pleasant and profound at the same time. If you had this profoundness, you would not simply be restless. You wouldn't be, if you sit down, because it's so profound. Just being alive is more than enough. Because there is no profoundness, there is a desperation to be something more. All human beings, no matter where they are, what they're doing, they're trying to be something more than what they are right now, isn't it? If it finds a very basic physical expression, we call this sexuality. You're trying to include another which is not you as a part of yourself. It seems to work for a moment and then it doesn't. If it finds an emotional expression, we call this love. Emotionally, you're trying to integrate somebody as a part of yourself. There are moments when you feel like that, the two have become one, but you know. Nothing against it, but if you intellectually try this, mentally if you approach this becomes ambition, conquest, or simply shopping. Because you're trying to make something that is not you as a part of yourself. If it finds a conscious expression, we call this yoga. Now people are asking, why is the yogi talking about soil? Because soil is the foundation of your life. If you don't handle that right, you're not going to handle anything right in your life, that's for sure. If you do not know how to handle that right, you will not handle anything right. All the terrible statistics, we have spoken enough about it. Only 60 years of soil left, soil extinction, by 2045 there'll be less food and 9 billion people, terrible things that can happen out of it, dozens of civil wars by 2040. All this stuff has been already thrown out. If you want more horrendous information, you can go on the UN sites and look at it. There's a lot of horrible stuff. Yes. But I don't think I have to tell you more and more horrible things. If you're a sensitive human being, which I believe you are, one thing is enough to wake you up. Hello? Yes or no? One thing is enough. Why do I need to tell you 100 terrible things to wake you up? I'm saying this because generations of people have had this problem that they walk into the same stupid disaster again and again and grieve over the disaster. For example, the wars in the world. Every time it happens, oh, what terrible thing, it should not happen, look at the blood, look at the children, look at the women, what's happening, what's happening? But after 2 years, they'll be at it once again, somewhere else. Yes or no? Hello? Always been happening, isn't it? It's just that when it comes to our doorstep, we say it should not happen, and it's happening somewhere else, it's just news or it's just core. It's very important that we could become a generation who will mitigate disasters, not walk into them and then grieve over it. That's not the point. What is the point? Grieving over a disaster that we create. Best to mitigate it, isn't it? Best to turn back. So this is the opportunity we have, that right now, if we do the right things, when I say right thing, yes, Sadhguru, I'm rolling up my sleeves, let me go and fix my kitchen garden. Very cute, very, very cute of you. But that is not a solution. It's very wonderful for you to do that. But that is not a solution because 71% of world's land is under agriculture. Another 4.2% is urban land. So the land is either plowed or paved. This is the problem. Plowed land and paved land. Natural habitat cannot happen here. Life cannot happen here because it's plowed and ripped open and left for 4 to 6 months in a year. Otherwise, urban lands are paved. Well, you tried cobbling your streets, which makes riding a motorcycle quite wet cobblestones are not a great place to ride. But the idea of cobblestones at that time was, if it rains, it'll go this way. But now it looks like you concreted it and on top of it you put the cobble. This is no good because you have heavier vehicles than then, so you've done it, it's okay, we build cities the way we build. But one problem with the cities I'm noticing in any city I go is, if you go at the peak morning hour or evening hour, both sides of the traffic are busy. This means people who live here work there, people who live there work here. What's wrong with us? Hello? If only one side of the road is busy, we think, okay, they're going to work or going home. Both sides are busy means both the sides of the people are living in the wrong place or are working in the wrong place. Why are we not living and working in one region rather than living here and working there? Something we have explanations, most cities were done long time ago, we didn't plan it. It's time to think about it. Yes, even now, whatever the carbon footprint that everybody likes to talk, it's become a fashionable thing to talk about carbon, but I'm an oxygen person, is it okay with you? Hello? Is it okay with you? The carbon footprint that we're talking about, they're saying even with all the fertilizer, pesticide nonsense, if you create one apple, to transport that apple, let us say 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers, which is normally it is traveling that much for most countries, maybe in Paris, around you it may be growing. If it's a kiwi, you eating a kiwi? You like kiwi? That is traveling 12,000 kilometers. So if it travels 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers, that apple, its transportation is causing 9 to 12 times carbon or fossil fuel than what it takes to grow it. If it grew right here, that would be cut down significantly. But now it is grown somewhere else and from there it comes. A grain of wheat a grain of wheat in transportation has 7 to 10 times larger footprint than its growth, than its agricultural imprint. We need to think, isn't it? Hello? Isn't it time? Hello? Isn't it time to reorganize ourselves a little bit? Where people are, maximum amount of food should grow where people are. Some things we can get the kiwi, it's okay. One fruit comes from somewhere, it's okay. But everything comes from somewhere, something wrong with us, unless you're living in a desert or something. So even there, they're making attempts to grow food. Why have we become like this? Essentially, is it okay if I blame it everything on the European mind? No, it's not all their fault, but they played a significant role. One thing is, the European mind started thinking, if anything has to be good, it must be in straight lines like this. Everything like this. School means everybody stand in a straight line like this. Even dead bodies are in a straight line. And now you're becoming little hippie, some of you, otherwise neatly potted with oil and this guy, see. Hey, stand up, man, let them see your hairstyle, come on, come on. See this guy can do well like this. It's okay, because this is the design of nature, simply like that. But everything like this, everything like this, everything like this. So in the same effort, we made our agriculture also like this, proper lines. It must be straight lines like this, everything in that way. That's not how land is. Have you seen at least the contours of the land, how it is? In India, if you… now they're also trying to imitate the European structure, Otherwise, if you look at it in various places in India, the farm fields are made like this, like that, like that. Why? Because the soil is like that. What the soil that's here and the soil that is just over there is very different. Accordingly, they built the structure of the farm that according to the soil types, they went like this, like that. Now whatever the soil, we ignore it. Boom, straight line. Because our machines demand straight lines. Well, we could build different kind of machines. Hello? A damn machine which goes only straight. Why? We can build a machine which goes like this. You can imitate an ant and build a machine, it goes whichever way you want. Yes or no? So these straight lines and straight lines people did not understand nature, there are no straight lines. Everything is like that, all right? Just to tell you, there are any number of examples. One striking example is this. In the prairies of America, the grasslands, I'm talking about prairies because prairies is one of the biggest disasters on the planet. In 1930s, you heard of the Dust Bowls in America? Hello? Where millions and millions of tons of dust or powdery soil flew with the winds and came to the East Coast. People experienced the Dust Bowl in a big way because New York City and Washington, mostly New York City, I think, New York City got inundated with sand and soil. The buildings stopped this soil and huge heaps, millions of tons of soil landed on New York City. To see where this is coming from, the President of the United States at that time traveled all the way to the prairies to see what's happening, and then he said, we're losing America. Because once the soil is lost, America is lost. We are really losing America, we must do something. And they formed a new institution to control that. Even today it's functioning to some extent, but only to some extent. So why this happened was, when the Western farmers went there, you guys, it's okay. When the Western farmers or European farmers went there, they were in the straight line mindset. They thought this whole land is left wild, nothing is made use of, it is not in use. But there were over 25 million Native American people living in that land, and they were farming for many, many millennia. But their farming was such, they farmed in tune with the nature. And one important aspect is, in the prairies, there is what is called as a prairie dog. A prairie dog is actually a rodent, a larger size, and these prairie dogs have dug tunnels like your lungs in the earth. In that sandy desert, semi-desert kind of grassland, they have dug tunnels, millions of miles of tunnels right across the prairie. So the Native American tribes at one time said, when the prairie dogs are not there to cry for the rain, this will turn into a desert. Something like this, I'm paraphrasing. Because the prairie dog was the indicator of whether the land thrives or not. So they grew their food, cultivated in such a way they don't disturb the prairie dog. What natural vegetation was there? They just enhanced those plants which are more useful to them that they can consume and reduce the other things a little bit and manage this. And in a selective way, they burn down a few things and manage this. When you go there, it didn't look like it was being farmed, but it was being farmed for thousands of years. But without destroying the soil, without destroying this, they gave tremendous significance to the prairie dogs because they had dug up millions of miles of tunnels inside the grasslands. Because of this, when the moon came up, let's say a full moon or a new moon, when that happened, when the tide rose in the oceans, here also a tide rose. From within, the water rose through these tunnels and came up, and the surface got the moisture. because of the prairie dog tunnels. This is why they said, if the prairie dogs are gone, then there will be no rain. Because the moisture or the water levels came up and the moisture came up, what is called as transpiration happened and it rained. Every time the water came up like this in the prairie dog tunnels, it would rain. Now when the European farmers went there, they couldn't understand, they thought these rodents are a big problem and they tried to shoot them, but they were in millions. Then they poisoned them, then they did all kinds of things to eliminate those prairie dogs, just one species. Just because of elimination of one species, the prairies largely turned into dust. When the wind blew, it just picked up millions of tons of soil and it came and landed in New York City? No, it did not. Just a little bit got stopped by the New York City buildings, the rest of it went into Atlantic, of course. Everybody was talking about this, how New York City was piled up with soil and how it was a great disaster. I said, New York City stopped some soil, that is not the disaster, that is your fortune. The real disaster is the soil that you did not see and the soil that you cannot measure, which went into the Atlantic. America went into Atlantic, that's what it means. Your topsoil went into Atlantic Ocean means your livelihood, your well-being flew into Atlantic. Only a little bit got stopped by the New York City buildings. So these kind of things are happening everywhere in the world, some of them may be very dramatic, some of them may not be, because in our minds we have this silly idea that if something has to work, it must be boop, 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 boop. All lines, factory lines. Even our schools are run like factory lines, unfortunately. Children don't come one kind, we must understand this. See, with every other creature, the percentages I'm just saying off the cuff, most creatures in the world, 90% of their life is determined by nature, how they should be. Only 10% latitude is there for individual dog, individual tiger, individual elephant to find its own little latitude, 10% freedom. But in the case of a human being, only 10% is determined by birth, 90% is left free. This is what human beings are struggling with. Because, see, if you were born as a tiger, if you ate enough food, you would become a good tiger. Now you're born as a human being. To be a good human being, how much nonsense you have to do? And still you don't know where you stand? Hello? When you're just about thinking you're doing good, your teenage children will come and say, you're no good. Not happened to you yet? Hello? Yes, yes. These days they don't wait till teens, they tell you when they're 8. So, a human being's problem is not of bondage, human being's problem is that of freedom. Don't know how to handle freedom. If you were also put between two lines, this is all you can be, it would be so simple. Now even to sit peacefully has become a massive problem because nature has left you free. For everybody two lines, for you no top line. That's what human beings are suffering. But nature trusted your intelligence and opened the doors of the prison that was there for every other creature. Shall we exercise it? Hello? Because only if you exercise your intelligence in favor of life, not against life, will this be useful. When I say against life, right now the narrative in the world has become like this, oh, my job is stressful. Okay, I'll get you fired, what about it? Let me see you joyful every day. No, being fired is stressful. No, I'm not married, so I'm stressful. Get them married and see, oh. Something, I'm poor, so I'm stressed. Get them rich, they'll get very stressed about the taxes. endless nonsense. I am saying you are stressed because you do not know how to hold the knife of your intelligence. I am saying the knife because I am asking you a simple question, whatever you choose, I am going to bless you. If you don't choose anything, you will get blessed like that. Would you like your intellect to be sharp or blunt? Boom! Okay. So if it is sharp, if you have a sharp instrument, you must know how to hold it, isn't it? If you hold it like this, you'll be bleeding all the time. This is what is happening with life. Why is it that we don't give a sharp knife to the hand of a child? Not because the knife is dangerous, because a child doesn't have a steady hand. Hello, children? Steady hand? If you have a steady hand, the sharper your mind is, the better it is, isn't it so? But if you don't have a steady hand, this or poke somebody or poke yourself. Happening in the world every day, and a whole lot of people are creating philosophies around it, romantic poetry around it, how natural it is for you to be angry, how natural it is for you to be stressed, how natural it is for you to be crazy. This is crazy. When you were a child, was it natural to be joyful or natural to be angry? Which was more fundamental to you? Then at the age of 5, if you are so joyful, by the time you were 30, you should have become ecstatic. No. Why? Why? Because when you were a child, I want you to know, maybe other people called you a child, but actually you are a slave. They say, eat this, you must eat this, even if you don't like it. You want to play? They say, no, go to bed, go to bed. You want to sleep? They say, no, wake up, wake up. What's wrong? This was childhood. Or maybe they kissed you, hugged you, boo-boo-boo, all that, because there is a need. That's different, but when you become an adult, you have your own life. If you are that joyful as a slave, by the time you become 30, you should be ha 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 la 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 la. Let me tell you my problem. Shall I? The upper regions? Okay, don't fall off, stay there, okay? It looks dangerous. No, I'm saying it looks dangerous to people who are sitting below. When I was 25 years of age, I stayed there, okay? When I was 25 years of age, one afternoon, I realized if I just take my hand off my mind, if I take my hands off my mind, suddenly every cell in my body is bursting with ecstasy. Blissfulness is dripping out of me. I thought I just, went off my rocker, something happened. Then I tried again and again. As I experimented for a few weeks, I realized all I have to do is create a little distance between me and my mind, between me and my body, and that's it. I'll burst forth. I thought, this is it. I have discovered something fantastic. And who in the world wouldn't want to live blissed out? Who? Nobody. Then I sat down and made a plan. At that time, the world's population was 5.6 billion people. Then I made a plan, in 2.5 years' time, I will get the whole world blissed out. Because who will not want it? So simple, all you have to do is sit here, you'll get blissed out. See, 40 years. 40 years, huh? And today they say we have touched over 2 billion people, but 2 billion people is not my idea of the world. And because of this terrible failure, Now with soil, I've come to 4 billion from 8 billion. Instead of asking the whole population, I'm just asking for half the population. Will you make it happen, huh? Yes! Only half the population. Now it is not even for blissfulness, just for survival, for the future well-being of the people that we bear. Well, today UNFAO is saying that the soil or the food that we are eating right now belongs not even to the little children that you see here, it belongs to the unborn child. In my heart, if we are eating up the food that belongs to the unborn child, I feel terrible. I think this is a crime against humanity. I would like to see we don't continue this way, and there is a way to do it. This is what Save Soil is about, to bring about the needed policy change. When I say policy change, once again, people are propounding complex policies which cannot be implemented anyway. They are good conference material. A whole lot of people make living out of conferences, I want you to know. Because I used to go to these world peace conferences for a few years, then I realized it's their profession. I'm the only idiot sitting here thinking there's going to be world peace. They're all thinking more conferences and more conferences. I stopped going to those conferences. So right now, this environment also should not become more and more conferences. Action needs to happen means, action must be simple enough that we should be able to implement it globally, not some complex mechanism that nobody can even understand properly. The simple thing we are asking is this: raise the organic content. Don't talk about organic farming, regenerative farming, this, that, science about it. Leave that. That science is for scientists to propound. The simple thing is this: beneath our feet, in the first 15 to 18 inches of soil, there are trillions of organisms who are the foundation of our work. They are our ancestors, really. Without them, life would not have happened. I can go into various scientific aspects of it, how it is, but you know, even in your very body, right now, 60% of your body is actually microorganisms. Only 40% is your parental genetics. 60% is just microbes, because your body is just a reflection of the soil upon which you walk. It is a consequence of that. Approximately 1 billion years ago, one very smart fungi— have you seen a smart fungi? Hello? Have you seen a smart fungi? You must. Or maybe it was an algae, we don't know. What do you say it in French? Fungi and algae? What? Okay. But this algae or fungi did not belong either to… they were not French or English or Indian, so we are okay. Okay. They're just life. This very smart fungi found a way to cook its food using the perpetual energy of the sun. At that time, the oxygen level in the atmosphere of this planet was only 1.1 to 1.2%. Today, it is 21%. It is because of 21% you and me are breathing. Even behind the mask you have been breathing, because it's 21%. If you make it simply probably 3–4% less, with your mask you will die. 21% oxygen in the atmosphere, so you're breathing. closed windows, closed doors, still you're breathing because of 21% oxygen. This happened because of this very smart fungi or algae which started this process of cooking their food with sunlight. Today, we refer to this as photosynthesis. That's how these people turn green. Oh, I'm sorry. That's how the leaf happened. So it is this photosynthesis which took carbon from the atmosphere and took the carbon alone, and it was in the form of carbon dioxide. It took the carbon alone and made carbon into carbon sugars and pushed it into the soil so that it can use this carbon sugar as a currency for exchange with nutrients. With other organisms, it started trading. Only when this trading began, really life started becoming complex. And oxygen was waste material, it just threw it out, and we are grateful. Hello? It is from this slowly we came to a place where complex plant life happened, out of that many very complex animal life happened, and we happened, all right, as human beings. Now, their exhalation, which is waste for them, is our inhalation. Our exhalation, fortunately for them, is inhalation. I'm saying the whole construct of life is so fantastically organized. Don't try to make every damn thing into a straight line. That's not how it works. Hello? This oxygen content is now under a big threat, because in the last 1,000 years, the photosynthesis on this planet has come down by 85%. Because over 70% of the land is plowed and over 4.2% of the land is paved, there is no photosynthesis. 85% drop in photosynthesis, and nobody is talking about threat to our oxygen, everybody is talking about carbon footprint in the sky. I am not saying carbon footprint is not an issue, but whatever the carbon footprint, if we increase the green cover on this planet by approximately 10 to 20 million square kilometers, then this carbon that is there in the sky, what we have emitted in the last 100 years, can be sequestered in the next 12 to 15 years' time. Well, we can go on calculating this. One reason why everybody is talking about carbon footprint and not oxygen levels, why everybody is talking about carbon in the atmosphere, not carbon in the soil. Soil has 3 to 4 times more carbon than the atmosphere, but nobody is talking about it because it's not easily measurable. So it is like this. You want to measure the depth of the ocean, but you have a foot scale. With a foot scale, you did this and said, okay, it's 10,000 feet. What is this? Just admit that we cannot measure this. Hello? Should we not admit, when it comes to nature and creation, there are many things we are not able to measure, we are not able to quantify? Openly, the top scientists in the world, the soil scientists in the world, are openly admitting that we do not even know 1% of the species which exist in the soil. When you know 1%, what right do you have to make big decisions about it? Keep it the way it is, damn it, that's all there is. So, this talk about environment, ecology, we must stop this and we must understand we are ecology, we are just an extension of this planet, all right? Just a lump of soil. Just nature gave us the freedom to prance around, that's all. Otherwise, We just pop up and pop down. Hello? You are thinking you are one great life. As far as soil is concerned, it is just trying to recycle itself. You're just one blob. Yes, the self-significance of the human being, that as if we are here forever or we are top of everything, we are not on top of everything. We are on a tiny little mud ball in the middle of nowhere. We don't know where the hell it begins, where the hell it ends. Somewhere, one tiny little mud ball. And we are thinking we are everything. This must go. Right now the problem with humanity is this. See, in this cosmos, we don't know where it begins, where it ends. In this cosmos, this solar system itself is a tiny speck. In that tiny speck, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Paris is a super microspeck. In that you are a big man. This is a serious problem. This is a very serious problem that we don't have a context as to who we are. We are here for a speck of time. Before you and me, countless number of people have walked this planet. They all think they're great people. Hello? Where are they? All topsoil. Hello? You and me also will become topsoil unless your friends choose to bury you real deep, fearing you may rise from the dead. You know, there have been such campaigns. This happened. There was a couple in Texas. Anybody from Texas? I'm making sure before I tell a joke, okay? Because Texans carry guns, you know. So there was a couple in Texas. They got married and it was their dream to go to Jerusalem, the Holy Land. But you know, marriage, honeymoon, then after that children came and children, then children went to school, then children, their children came and you know how it happens. It happened like that. Now they were in their mid-70s. Now they got a little break. They decided we must go to the Holy Land, this has been our dream. They went to Jerusalem. They were overwhelmed. They are walking the same streets that Jesus walked. They went to that place where he walked upon the water. Or, you know, Jerusalem is a place where every cobblestone is bleeding history. So, all this was happening. Then unfortunately, the wife had a heart attack and she died. This also happens. Then the man was planning how to transport her body back to Texas. The local people came and said, no, you should not do anything like that because she has done the right thing. She has died in the Holy Land, which is the quickest route to wherever. She's done the right thing, don't bother about taking her back to Texas. And above all, transporting a dead body from Jerusalem to Texas cost $18,000, plus whatever local charges of funeral, burial, everything in Texas. Here, because you're so distressed and you're American and you're our friend, we will do this for $16,000, everything. Let's do it. The man thought about it and then he said, no, I will take her to Texas. Then they said, see, you're too distressed. You lost a wife of 37 years, so you're not thinking straight. All right, because you're from Texas, we'll give you a super discount. $12,000, let's do it, come on. Then he thought about it and said, no, I will take her to Texas. Let's see, it doesn't make sense what you're doing. $18,000 plus local charges there, unnecessary stress for you, traveling with a dead body, you know. Let's do it here. All right, $6,000, let's finish it, come on, let's do. He said, no, I will take her back to Texas. Then they threw up their hands and said, what is this? What's the matter with you? We offered the best deal and you're going on saying you'll take her to Texas. Then the man said, in Texas, dead stay dead. Everywhere, dead stay dead, and that's how it should be. The living must live as full-fledged life. Full-fledged life means, if you are a mango tree, you must bear the maximum number of mangoes. That is a full-fledged life. If you are a butterfly, you must be more colorful as possible and flap around as much as you can. If you're a human being, now it gets complicated. What is full-fledged human being? No description, no definition. That is why it is so beautiful to be a human being, because there is no definition. You could be anything you want. Will you be that one who is cribbing about, oh, she is not okay, he is not okay, she is not okay, he is not okay, her nose is not okay, her color is not okay, this is not okay? Or will you be a joyful, blissful human being? Doesn't matter how somebody else sees, your wonderfulness, you don't surrender to any damn thing in the universe. Hello? You know, we are a volunteer-run organization. That means everybody is super enthusiastic, but nobody is trained for anything. And because they're volunteers, I can't fire them. They were employees, you could have said fired. They're volunteers, you can't fire them. They're there with their heart hanging out. How do you fire them? You can't fire them. If you work with such people, you will go insane in no time. But that's my job. So people come to me and say, Sadhguru, I can't work with this guy, he's so horrible. Oh, she's like that, I can't work with her. I say, see, in this world, this is how people are. Like this, like this. Whatever you tell her, she keeps shooting me. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. This is how people are in this world. If you think what you are doing is very significant, you have to work with all these horrible people. But if you want to work with ideal people, you must go to heaven and today. Hello? Those of you who know there is a better place than this must go today, isn't it? Why are you postponing? Hello? This is a very horrible thing that you're doing to yourself and to others, that giving them the idea, there is a better place than this. No, this one, if you make this one into heaven, you will make your surrounding also feel like heaven. If you think there is a better real estate than Paris, you must go. Hello? You shouldn't hesitate. See, if you are sure there is a better place than this, you should go ahead of me, because if a horrible guy like me comes there, what will you do? There also I won't leave you alone, I will keep on pointing out what's wrong with you. So you must go, if you know there's a better place. If you do not know whether there is a better place or not, make this the best damn place to live in. In this effort, soil is the most important part. There's just a little time left. If somebody has a burning question, really burning question that you can't go to sleep without being answered, such a question, if you have, please raise your hand and take the microphone. Question time, showing we'll do later. I know you're beautiful. This is a child. Come. As they're asking questions, you can come. Yes, question.
Hello.
Whoa. Ooh. Sorrow. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Hello?
Who's that? Where are you?
Here.
Here is here. Where? Okay. Okay.
First of all, thank you so much for your energy and your time. You opened my eyes in a lot of senses. And you spoke about keeping your hand out of your mind when you were 25. And I would love to know how you do that, because sometimes our minds make us crazy, and I think it would be amazing to know how you do it.
Inner engineering, that's what we're calling it, see? See, right now, if you say, this building is well engineered, what do you mean by that? It means, functionally for us, it is at its best, right? If we say, these microphones are well engineered, what does it mean? It's working the way we want it, yes or no? If you say a car is well engineered, what does it mean? It drives the way you want. So, if you had a car, you drive? What do you drive?
I don't have a car, but I drive.
What do you drive?
A car.
Okay. Okay, car is not just a car, there are many things to it. Anyway, you're driving that car which doesn't have a name. Suppose you're going like this, you did like this, but the car went like this. You want to sit in that one? No. Right now, this is what you're saying about your mind. Oh, it drives me crazy. But you already told me you want to be blissed out. But it drives you crazy. This means your vehicle is out of control, or you don't have the steering wheel in your hand, that's the whole problem. Maybe you're handling one of the wheels and thinking it'll turn that way, but you need to hold the steering wheel. When you're driving, you hold the left front wheel and drive? No, steering wheel, right? So it's important, you must know how to hold this, how to hold this body, how to breathe, how to sit, how to be. First of all, with the body, just knowing how to manage this. People are asking me, Sadhguru, at 65, how are you riding 30,000 kilometers? If they are motorcycle riders, they will know what it means. Sadhguru, I rode for 3,000 kilometers and my back broke. I said, this is an advertisement for a yogic back. Because in the physical body, there are many aspects to it, many aspects to it. One important aspect is the geometry of your body, how you stand, how you sit, how you breathe, how you hold yourself. Similarly, there is a geometry to your mind, how you hold your mind. See, in any machine, least amount of friction is considered a good machine, isn't it? Hello? If something is well engineered, with least amount of friction, it is functioning. If you start your engine, if it's a then you know, too much friction. So right now, what you call as stress, what you call as anxiety, what you call as it's driving me crazy is too much friction. So friction means the different parts are not well engineered. They're not geometrically congruent. So any movement hurts. So people think their work is causing stress. Get them fired. Will they be happy? No. They think their marriage is causing problems. Get them divorced. Will they be happy? No. Most of the time, no, they will just suffer. They'll suffer this, they'll suffer that. So if you're suffering this and that, both situations, it means you're suffering yourself, isn't it so? So, this needs to be engineered. This is a very simple process, but the problem is, we want to conquer the world. If you don't take charge of this, you can go and sit on top of the North Pole and say, I am the emperor of this planet and still be miserable. Happening or no already to people? So, this is one thing. As it is important to arrange our outside well, because if we arrange our outside well, we will have comfort and convenience in our lives, which is also important to function well in the world. But if we arrange this properly, we will have joy and well-being, which is the most important for you to function well in the world. Okay? Hey, take a microphone, huh? I know you have a big voice, but people think you have a domestic situation if you shout like that.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done for the world, and I'm an engineering practitioner.
What is that?
I practice inner engineering.
Okay.
And I have a question about chanting. The Yoga Yogeshwaraya chant, I've been doing it, kind of comes really quickly.
Oh, have all the neighbors vacated?
Yeah, it just keeps repeating it quickly, and I was wondering if there's a difference between doing a chant on a normal and slow pace or doing like Yoga, Yoga, Yogeshwaraya, Bhuta, Bhuta, Bhuteshwaraya.
No, it depends. If you want to evict the neighbors, you do it like that.
Thank you.
It all depends what's the objective. Last question, let's take just one question. Hey, have some gender parity, give it to a man, please, poor man.
Hello, Mr. Sadhguru. My name is Kovarthanan Kaliyappan. I'm from Coimbatore. I would like to start my speech in Tamil.
Don't want.
Yadumure Yavarum Kelir. I would like to be that person. Everyone in the city is yours and everyone is your kith and kin citizen. It's told by Purananur 4,000 or million years back.
It's a question time.
Yes, I'm coming. I apologize for it. So the question is, I appreciate your effort for Save Your Soil and all the…
No, this is the whole problem. What's your name you said?
Kovarthanan Kaliyappan.
Kovarthanan.
Yes.
Listen to me.
Yes.
This is not my planet. All I have to do is, if I want to avoid the 2045 when they're expecting food shortages and civil wars, I just have to die 10 years early. No problem with me. It's you and many others, so it's your planet. Don't tell me it's my project.
No, of course, everyone's project, everyone who's involved in it.
Don't say everyone's project, just say my project, you say.
Okay, my project.
Yes, let it be so.
I'm honored, thank you. So, for Save the Soil, I find a lot of introduction, a lot of people investing around, getting into that, or Save the Soil movement. I would like to invest myself and come over for a trip along with you to Paris, to Belgium. That's your next schedule, if I'm not wrong. Just for a ride over there. Maybe if you have a pillion rider back, a free space or a bike, I would be glad to join with you if you wish to. Thank you.
No, you got work in the city, I will tell you what you should do, okay? You should be here, and that goes for everybody, you should be here and follow Save Soil Journey on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. And yes, we'll come to you, Namaskaram sir. You must enhance the message because right now, the immediate need to get the policy changes in the world is, the world needs to speak. Oh, the world is going to speak. Heck damn it, you're the goddamn world. Hello? You are the world, isn't it? The problem is just this. You know, today, that's Rohit. Wait, I'll come to you. All right. Today, Today we have signed an MOU, or yesterday we have signed an MOU with 4 per 1,000 organization here in France. This 4 per 1,000 is a commitment that they made in 2015 to increase 0.4% of organic content in the soils around the world, particularly France, so that in 10 years' time it'll be 4%, apart from what is already there, about 1.48% is there, plus 4% would be nearly 6%, which would be a fantastic development. So yesterday I had conversations with them, and when I asked them, is it being implemented? No, from 2015 you made the decision, but it is still going on, the debates and conferences are going on. It's time to implement it. For that to happen, the people need to speak. Why the government hesitates is, if they invest in something which will bear result after 10 or 15 years, are the people with them or not? They don't know. Hello? They don't know. You have to give this confidence to them. Right now it's election time especially, you have to speak on the social media in whatever way. The toolkits are there on the SaveSoil.org, how to do it. You go there, educate yourself, or find a person who knows something about it and speak. This is the time to speak. I'm not asking you to go and farm, at least speak. Instead of sending silly messages on a smartphone, use it as a powerhouse to transform the world. It's possible to do that. Please share the SaveSoil.org website with as many people as you can. How many friends do you have in Paris? Govardhan?
I believe everyone is a friend of mine.
Ah, that is a lot of bullshit, come on. No, believe is fine. How many do you have on your phone, man? Huh?
I have quite some.
Huh?
I have quite some contacts.
How many, huh?
Well, I couldn't count.
1,000?
Might be.
Maybe. Okay. So you ask these 1,000 people to reach at least each one of them 100 people each. Oh, you got a big number going, man.
I will be all around the globe, including Coimbatore.
Yes, fine.
Thank you.
So make Save Soil song, which we will play right now, reverberate everywhere. You sing it yourself, or if you sing, if people are going to fall dead, just play it. Okay? But learn the jig. If you look funny, it's okay. It doesn't matter. If you're a source of laughter for this city, it's a good thing, hello? Instead of you being a nuisance, you're a source of laughter, people laughed at you, it's all right. Have your children… In India, the Isha homeschool children took a commitment that they will make 10 million children in India write to our Prime Minister. Right now, 10 million have not happened, a few 100,000 letters have inundated Prime Minister's office. You think he can ignore it? Hello? Even if 1 million children in France write to your new Prime Minister or the same Prime Minister, whoever comes after the election, if even 1 million children write, you think they can ignore it? Please make it happen, huh? Already, the one progressive thing about France is, France was the first nation to talk about this 4 per 1,000, that is 0.4% increase in soil organic content. And they committed to this, they tried to push the world towards it. They've not been successful in terms of action, but they will not be successful in action unless the people of, the French people say, we are 100% with you if you do this. You have to express that. If you don't express that, how will government do it? Because the governments are not here to do something fantastic. The governments are here only to fulfill the people's mandate. You must give them that mandate. Mandate is not just vote, your voice is also a mandate. Just raise your voice and say you care about the soil and you are concerned about the future well-being. So as a part of this, you can download the Save Soil stickers and make sure your vehicles, that nameless car, it must have Save Soil sticker at the back and front, okay? Hello? Put it on your automobiles, whatever you drive. If you don't have any, put it on your shoulder, all right? Hello? Let's make it happen. Here,